What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So as if the NHL was not unusually busy the last 24 hours with Cody Ceci getting traded to the San Jose Sharks, as well as Askarov wanting out of the Nashville Predators, we have the biggest news yet as Patrik Laine was traded from the Columbus Blue Jackets to the Montreal Canadiens. So let's break it down because this was shocking. Elliot Friedman tweeted it out of nowhere, and then within like 5 minutes we had a return. Usually we have to wait like 45 minutes on the edge of our seat, but the return for this deal is Laine in a 2026 second-round pick, Columbus's 2026 second-round pick for Jordan Harris. That's all. It shocked me. I initially thought, I tweeted something out under the assumption that it was Montreal sending the 2026 second-round pick as well as Patrik Laine, and I actually thought that was maybe a little bit too much that Montreal gave up, but the fact that they're getting a second-round pick obviously makes me really enjoy this deal for the Montreal Canadiens. Starting up first, Patrik Laine. When looking at Patrik Laine, when he's been healthy in Columbus, not even talking about his Winnipeg Jets days where he had 44 goals in his second season, in Columbus in 2022 and 2023, where he was somewhat healthy. He actually did miss like a third of a season both of those years, but he had 48 goals, 60 assists for 108 points in 111 games with like Boone Jenner as his number one center. So he has been around 35 goals, 45 assists, 80 points when healthy, when in Columbus. Obviously, he hopefully is overcoming it. It appears like he's in a much better mental state as well as physically being able to stay healthy. If that is the case, he can easily be at the bare minimum a 35 and 35 goal guy in Montreal. Is he going to be worth $8.7 million in the next 2 years? I'm not exactly sure, but for the Montreal Canadiens, it's not like they have these massive playoff expectations. Like we were talking about like the Carolina Hurricanes maybe getting Patrik Laine. There would have been serious concerns, expectations that came with Patrik Laine, especially if there's no money retained. That's not really the case in Montreal. They're not expected to contend in the next 2 to 3 years, especially Patrik Laine, 2 years, 8.7 is nothing compared to Brendan Gallagher, 3 years left at 6.5, Josh Anderson, 3 years left at 5.5. So they get kind of like a 2-year trial run with Patrik Laine. And again, they get a 2026 second-round pick from the Columbus Blue Jackets. I tweeted something out saying, like, that shit's about to be 35th overall when looking at Columbus the last couple of years. I don't think Columbus is going to be that good of a team. So they basically got like a late first-round pick to take on Patrik Laine. When looking at Jordan Harris, I think Jordan Harris is a fine third-pairing defenseman. Do I think he's ever going to materialize into a legit impact high-end second-pair guy? Probably not. He's a decent piece, but when looking at the Montreal Canadiens, they would have traded Jordan Harris straight up for that pick. So when looking at Patrik Laine in Montreal, he does kind of fit the age core. He's actually a little bit older than some of their forwards, but still he's 26 years old, hopefully has new motivation to prove a lot of people wrong as he heads to Montreal, a team that is obviously up and coming. And now that Montreal has their top six of the future, that of course being Suzuki, Caulfield, Demidov, I'm probably blanking on someone's name, Suzuki, Demidov, Caulfield, Laine, Dach, and Slavkovsky. That's their top six going forward. Maybe they get a better second-line center than Kirby Dach, but they now have, we knew that they had the defensemen in terms of young guys like Reinbacher, Hudson, all that. We still weren't sure past coming into this offseason, besides that top line, if they were going to have the forward talent. They get Demidov in the draft somehow at 5th overall, and now they get Patrik Laine. Well, again, taking on a potential 33rd, 34th, 35th, 36th overall pick. It is very impressive what Kent Hughes has done this summer. He also locked up Slavkovsky. That's the other thing. When you lock up Suzuki, Slavkovsky, and Caulfield all between like $7.6 to $7.9 million, you can take a risk on the next 2 years on a guy like Patrik Laine. They're in such a good cap situation. And even if Patrik Laine returns to being that 35 goal, 45 assist, 80 point guy over the next 2 years, I still believe that Kent Hughes is going to lock him up on some like 8-year deal at $8 million and also get a lot of value out of Patrik Laine. Is there some risk involved in this? Yes, but when looking at a Montreal team, if they just took on Laine straight up, I'd say, yeah, maybe I don't love that $8.7 million, but they basically got a cap dump from the Columbus Blue Jackets and got a guy that could potentially turn it around. It's not like this is some Cody Ceci type where you just got to eat his money the next year and then he's just see him later. Maybe you sign him back for like a vet minimum. Patrik Laine could end up becoming a massive piece of this Montreal Canadiens core. Now, when looking at it from a Columbus Blue Jackets perspective, I'm also not going to kill them. I'm just not going to kill him, considering the fact that Laine has openly wanted out for almost like a year at this. Was it last year he started to openly want out? But definitely for the past couple of months, he has been getting very vocal about wanting out. And when you look at Don Waddell, he didn't initially trade for Patrik Laine. He has been cleaning up Jarmo Kekalainen's just horrible messes that he made his last couple of years in Columbus. So I also can't kill Columbus. It does think that now they don't have their 2026 second-round pick, but I think Jordan Harris, for a team that has so many defensive concerns, I think Jordan Harris can come in and probably play like 18, 19 minutes, play some serious minutes. So I think that's actually a decent ad. And for a guy that just didn't want to be there, 2 years at 8.7, obviously, ideally, you would have ate some money, because I don't think Columbus is going to be contending in the next few years. You would have eaten some money and instead got a second-round pick. But with everything that has went down with the Columbus Blue Jackets and Don Waddell trying to clean it all up, I can't say I hate this haul for the Columbus Blue Jackets. If I were to grade it, I'm sure I already posted my Instagram grades by the time you're watching this, I would give the Montreal Canadiens like an A-A. Again, I can't say it's an A+ because they're paying him 8.7. He has been extremely injured, both physically and unfortunately mentally, the last 3 seasons, that he won't fully pan out like we expect that he will, but it is still a very good pickup by Kent Hughes. And for the Columbus Blue Jackets, I go like a C+. Anybody giving him like a D, D-. Again, it's very unfortunate situations that Don Waddell, he had not a lot of leverage heading into the season, considering Laine played 18 games last year, only had 9 points, and didn't look like himself. So overall, very good deal by the Montreal Canadiens, taking advantage of the lack of leverage that Don Waddell had. And for Columbus, you just move on the Laine. You got Laine for PLD, who now also sucks, so it's not the end of the world. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about this trade? How would you grade it? Do you think Laine is going to turn it around in Montreal? And I'll be seeing the next one.